set up because I'm don't have a stand for my phone. So let's make sure I'm live real quick before I get into this. Like the freaking mess of a pay-per-view this was. I mean, what the actual hell? You know what I mean? Let me see. Let's go to Creator Studio and manage the live stream from here. What a mess of a card. First off, like what the hell was that? Honestly, what does there even say? Like, it was mostly just the last two fights, really. Even the decisions were a little the last fight I didn't think it was as questionable because I could see it definitely being a draw. But let's see if I can. Where do I look at the live stream? Okay, there we go. We're good. But yeah, this card was just a straight up mess. Honestly, I don't know what to say. It's literally the last two fights. We're doing so well. We had all the fights were finishes. The channel outside. All the fights were finishes until the last two fights where it was real messy. Thank God we didn't have any other decisions on this card because you could imagine what those would look like and the backlash from those. But yeah, it was really the last two fights that got everybody talking for this one. For right now, it seems like they're doing Jamal Hill versus Glover Teixeira. But I heard the UFC deleted the post on Instagram, so we'll see. I'm gonna check on it real quick. I do this with one arm, using my phone to live stream this because my fan is so damn loud and I can't turn it off. So that's what we're working with. But what a mess of a damn card. Wish it could have been easier, but yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm going to go through the rest of the card and review it a little bit. I think I did pretty well on the predictions. If Ankalaev actually won the last fight, I think I would have gotten like 9 of 11, which is better than I've been doing. I swear the best thing I'm able to do on a card is, let me check. Okay, we're good. Guess it disconnected me, but what a mess of a card. Well, we got Colby here. Let's go UFC Instagram. Because I can't do it on my phone. It just almost disabled me. Now the post is still here. Breaking news: Glover Teixeira to take on Sweet Dreams Hill for the vacant light heavyweight title at UFC 283. That's the tickets. Bobby Green says, so happy for my N-word. MMA Guru says, Dana, I don't make fights the night of the fight. Also, Dana, I made this fight real quick because we messed up and still don't have a main event for UFC Brazil. Yeah. What a mess light heavyweight division is at this point. I thought we figured it out with Yuri Prochazka. It was a really judges really rigged that fight too. Okay, buddy. It definitely does not. Definitely wasn't a rigged decision. Jamal Hill is the real winner tonight. I thought he doesn't make fights the night of the event. USADA needs to drug test these judges immediately. That's what they need to do. What a shit show. What the fuck? Magomed won. I don't know if I agree with that. The whole situation sucks. That's true. Jan robbed 1, 1, 2, and 3. Did more damage. You can argue that for sure. Doing Magomed so dirty. I wonder who. Oh, okay. That's the name of the account. Okay. Ankalaev must be heartbroken, man. He fought back to win that title. Now he gets to watch two guys fight for it. He didn't. See, here's the thing. Here's the issue with people freaking out about this one is, I don't know why they posted the Patty thing. They posted all 3 posts about Patty. That's not really smart. But it's so weird. Okay. But these guys weren't supposed to fight for the title anyways. At least what was originally supposed to happen. It was originally supposed to be Glover versus Yuri. So I get, realistically, you should rematch it because that was the main event. But I mean, I'm not clamoring to see either one of those guys win the title, honestly. But Jamal Hill is what, ranked number 7. I wonder what his rank will be on Tuesday. But I will review some of the card real quick. I did miss a little bit of the Cameron Simon fight against Steven Kozlow. I saw him on the ground for the first part of it, hit like a grounded knee to his opponent. Let's see. Okay, it's just YouTube being stupid. I saw a grounded knee, and then he's able to TKO him later. Good win for Cameron Simon. Was a little rough on the ground, but he was able to like power him over, so it was pretty impressive there. But again, we had finishes all the way up to the last 2 fights of the card, and then it got out of hand there. So we'll see. It was a great card until those last. You couldn't argue fight card of the year because the crowd was a little dead. I'm not gonna lie, they were spoiled the whole night. They were booing during the Ponzinibbio Morono fight. I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. I went to the freaking Carlos Esparza Rose Namajunas 2 fight, and like, that's justified. You don't boo Morono versus Ponzinibbio. They're actually doing stuff and hurting each other in that fight. But then we had TJ Brown versus Eric Silva. TJ Brown won by an arm triangle. That one was weird. TJ Brown had just too much power and was just too much for Eric Silva in that fight. Billy Quarantillo, again, Alex Hernandez gets that first round, and then basically just does nothing after. Not does nothing, but he gassed out. He wasn't the same guy in the first round. If this was a one-round fight, he would definitely win it in a lot of his fights. But Billy Quarantillo comes back and TKOs Alex Hernandez. It's a little late. I apologize. It's like 12 a.m. Holy cow, okay. Chris Curtis versus Joaquin Buckley. I said Joaquin Buckley would win that, but I think... Can I say that Joaquin Buckley was kind of winning this till he wasn't? I feel like Chris Curtis landed some shots, but I think how about this? Joaquin Buckley was winning till he wasn't. I think a lot of times he would get his range, but he wasn't doing really well at the range. He would come in, and what ultimately knocked him out, he kind of went out a couple times too. What knocked him out is he got stuck in range, drew a kick, and then was just grabbed and then knocked out. He just wasn't far enough. It was too close for Chris Curtis. Chris Curtis has excellent boxing. I think he's undefeated with Sean Strickland at this point, so I'm going to start making bets off of that. I said it last time against Jack Hermanson that if he loses this, it has to be because of Strickland. If Strickland's for the next one and he wins, that has to be it, right? Chris Curtis could be Izzy with Strickland in his corner at this point. I'm joking, but good one for Chris Curtis in that fight. Well, we got Edmund Shabazian versus Dalcha Lugiambula. That fight was kind of weird because we saw Dalcha Lugiambula not be super explosive in the first round. I thought he would just do the same thing, but again, he's off like a couple big losses, a couple losses in general, so he's probably like, okay, I'm going to play it safe, be a little smarter here because this could be my career on the line here. But Edmund Shabazian, thank goodness he wins. He has a lot of the tools, just needs some good coaching around him. I believe he is with Extreme Couture now. And, yeah, impressive win for Edmund Shabazian. I was happy he won the fight. I'm going to check my audio actually real quick. Yeah, impressive win for Edmund Shabazian. I was happy. Yeah, because my mic's a little lower, so if it does sound weird, I apologize. But Jairzinho Rozenstruik versus Chris Daukaus. Never trusted Daukaus. I'll always go by that. Chris Daukaus was acting like an idiot. Maybe he thought Jairzinho Rozenstruik wasn't going to fight him early on because Jairzinho Rozenstruik's pretty... what's the word for it? He's pretty hesitant at the beginning. He's like shadow boxing a little bit, and he just doesn't get comfortable, and he just explodes and goes after these guys. So I picked Jairzinho Rozenstruik because I just didn't trust Chris Daukaus, and I believe he was just going to get knocked out anyways at this point. So good one for Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Actually did it pretty quick and early. Happy he did that. He didn't look hesitant in there at all, so good for him. Probably because it was against Chris Daukaus, let's be real. Raul Rosas Jr. versus Jay Perrin. Rosas Jr. looked really good in that fight. Extremely good grappling against a guy like Perrin. You're able to make sure that he has really good grappling because he beat a guy on the Contender Series that actually gave a little bit more of a fight in that one. But Jay Perrin's actually a pretty solid fighter, and Raul Rosas made it look kind of easy in that fight. He has a good chin, thank God. I mean, look how I'm not going to trash an 18-year-old, but I'm not going to trash someone because they're like the dude's looking at all this kind of stuff. So I'm not going to. I can imagine being in that position. It must be rough, but good win for him. Super marketable guy. Had a really good post-fight speech. Already does way more than half the roster on the UFC at marketing himself after a fight. So congrats there. Looked really good. On the main card, Ilia Topuria versus Bryce Mitchell. Topuria looked great in there. Bryce Mitchell seemed like once he felt the power of Topuria, it was more of like okay, I need to like avoid some of these shots and get the takedowns. The takedowns were not working early on. It was looking a little rough. Like I said, Topuria is a small, stocky dude. He's going to be a hard guy to take down. Super strong. Bryce Mitchell was able to take him down a couple times. Ilia Topuria was able to get up. Again, but the boxing from Ilia Topuria, I didn't necessarily get this prediction right. I said he was going to be like body shots because that would have made more sense for me, or in general, because he has some really good body shots. Like, he's super powerful. I thought he would have been able to soften him up, do some more work throughout the rounds. But like what I said, when Bryce Mitchell starts to fail some takedowns, he does kind of get a little tired. So that's what I was betting on, and it seemed like that's what happened. And Ilia Topuria's boxing was just too much for Bryce Mitchell. Threw way too many combos for him to handle, and the power just too much for him. A guy like Ilia Topuria, how young is he? Let me check this real quick, because I know Ilia Topuria is really young. 25 years old. Absolutely insane. He's 26 in March. Or not March, sorry. 26 in January, probably around the 283 card, actually. But still super young. He still has quite a bit to improve. Not like as a bad way, but he has a lot of time to improve. He's only going to get better. So maybe he starts getting quicker. He was looking for like kind of headhunting quite a bit. Like, he was overthrowing some of the shots. So I don't want to see that too much, but because Bryce Mitchell was a tough dude, and that could have ended a lot of ways if he kept trying to overthrow his shots, trying to knock him out, headhunt him the whole time. But good one for Ilia Topuria. I thought he was going to win. Thank God I predicted that, because I believe in Ilia Topuria. Yes, good one for Ilia Topuria in that matchup. Dricus du Plessis versus Darren Till. I'm not going to lie, last second I did get a little nervous about this fight. Dricus du Plessis, obviously super weird in the first round, but Darren Till, you didn't really get to see it in this fight, but he's normally like he's a weird fighter. First round, he gets even weirder, you know. He just gets caught too much. For Darren Till, I actually thought, I was getting a little nervous because I saw those pictures. I don't know if you guys saw them online or not, but it showed like a 2016 or 2017 photo of Darren Till, and it showed a 2022 photo of Darren Till. And I started looking at it, I'm like, dude, he's been in Thailand the whole time at Tiger Muay Thai. Like, is he on something? You know, he had massive traps, a really big chest in this photo, and then freaking like a red mark over his belly button. It could be staph, or it could be, that'd be kind of gross, but it could be staph, or it could be an injection mark. I don't know. But I started getting a little nervous. I'm like, what if he uses strength to get out of these takedowns? But didn't seem like that was the case. He kept getting taken down relatively easily too. Faster than the Brunson fight, honestly. I was so surprised. I was talking to someone and they said that the reason Darren Till lost was because Mark Smith kept getting himself in, if I can speak, kept getting himself involved in the action. And Darren Till, he said that Darren Till was fighting the ref and Dricus du Plessis. I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. Like, bro, you're taking so many unanswered shots at the beginning. I even thought, like, okay, these are light shots. Please don't stop it, Mark Smith. Like, what are you doing? But I understand why Mark Smith was asking him, like, hey, you good? Like, you want to keep fighting? He's like, yeah. Like, bro, you have to intelligently defend yourself. And Darren Till was not doing that. So I understand why Mark Smith did get involved. He's like on a knee, like he wasn't trying to get up or anything. He's just covering himself. Like, you need to intelligently defend yourself. So I understand like why Mark Smith kept asking him to like work and things like that. So making sure that but I can completely understand that. I thought that was ridiculous. Darren Till did look good in the second round. I believe he did win that round, right? He did get taken down a couple times, was able to reverse position a little bit, but then landed the crisper shots on the feet. Third round, he started getting hit a lot more by Dricus, though. Dricus was landing some powerful shots. I thought Dricus was on his way to winning that fight anyways before he did submit Darren Till, but submitting him put the icing on the cake for Darren Till. I think he should move down to welterweight. He's still got a little bit of tummy, and he's built up so much muscle with this time off. So I think he should move down to welterweight. It's interesting because welterweight to middleweight is 15 pounds. I feel like he would probably benefit from 175 or something, but I think he does need to cut weight, be a little bit bigger than some of these guys, because he's not going to win at middleweight, let's be real. A lot of those guys are huge, like Apollo Costa, even Robert Whittaker, Alex Pereira, Marvin Vettori, all those, Dricus du Plessis, even Bo Nickel's a big dude. We could run down the list. Derek Brunson obviously already dominated him. But, like, he's kind of, I don't want to say he's the size of Holland, but, like, there's no way he's cutting that much weight to middleweight. There's no way. So, yeah, Darren Till should move down to welterweight. Good win for Dricus du Plessis. Didn't look too impressive, but good win nonetheless. Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Alex Morono. I thought Morono was definitely winning this the whole fight till he basically wasn't. Santiago Ponzinibbio definitely got a couple of his licks in there, but I think Morono dropped him twice or something like that in the fight. And then he just got absolutely destroyed with one punch, and then got hurt, and then another one, and then just got not TKO'd, but pretty much KO'd there. So good one for Santiago Ponzinibbio. They don't have much to say here. Morono actually looked impressive on short notice, and he didn't look very fit to fight the fight, but he did look really good. But the last two fights we're coming up are basically the whole entire mess here. Seriously, what a mess of a card at this point. I'm just scrolling through the Instagram to see if any new information is popping up. But okay, we got our performances of the night. I'll talk about that at the end. But we have Paddy Pimblett versus Jared Gordon. I haven't rewatched this fight, by the way. I'm going to be checking Weasel, by the way, for this fight to see who actually won this, because the only way you're going to be able to figure out who won this is breaking it down frame by frame, or what the hell he does. But I definitely thought Jared Gordon won the first round. For sure, I thought he landed the bigger punches in that round. Second round, I said, was pretty close in general. I could see it going either way. I think I needed to rewatch it because there's a lot of stuff that happened in there, and then you had the eye poke that kind of separated between it. But Paddy Pimblett landed a couple big kicks, a couple big punches. Same with Jared Gordon, landed a couple big punches too. So I think that one needs to be looked at pretty heavily. Round 3, a lot of people were saying they were surprised Paddy Pimblett might have won 3. The judges gave Paddy Pimblett round 1. I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason for Paddy Pimblett to win round 1. 2 of them said it. I don't know what the hell they're looking at. Round 2, close round. Round 3, I thought for sure went to Paddy. You can't just hold a guy against the fence. You actually have to do something there. Paddy Pimblett definitely did a little bit more with the more punches. Even then, when Paddy got on the ground, Jared Gordon hopped on his back for a couple seconds, and then Paddy Pimblett got him on the ground and hopped on his back for a good 15 seconds. So you even have more dominant position for longer. I'm pretty sure Paddy Pimblett landed some more strikes. He was the only one landing strikes there. You just can't hold him against the cage. Should have learned something from that, like the Ketlin Vieira fight versus Holly Holm. People should have learned from that. It's in the rules. You can't just hold someone against the cage and expect to win that unless nothing happens. Because it ain't ground control. It ain't a ground position. Like, if it was on the ground and they're both, like, had equal strikes or pretty much equal strikes, then it wouldn't be an issue. You can give it to Jared Gordon, but you can't just hold someone against the fence and win that way. Like, that doesn't count as anything. Not even aggressiveness, not even control time. I don't think that even counts as control. I mean, maybe it does. I don't even think it does, though. But for that one, a lot of people are calling it robbery, but afterwards I kind of figured, like, okay, round 2 is the closest round here. I can definitely see Paddy Pimblett winning it, but I had Jared Gordon. I was like, okay, Jared Gordon likely might have won it, but round 2 is super close, so we'll see. And then Paddy Pimblett won with no surprise there, but it's a unanimous decision, so that was interesting. But giving round 1 to Paddy Pimblett was absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. I don't know how 2 judges gave him round 1. I think that's freaking crazy. But for the last fight on the card, we have Jan Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev. Jan Blachowicz, this one kind of is interesting because when I was watching it, I was like, okay, first round's really close. I felt like you could give it to Magomed Ankalaev, but you could also give it to Jan Blachowicz. I said, you know what, this is going to be the swing round for sure. Super close round. The only issue is I don't think Ankalaev landed too much damage in the first round to really give it to him decisively. Like, you can't give him that first round decisively, in my opinion. First round could go either way. Second round, I give it to Jan. Third round, I was like, okay, this one's kind of close, but I think I'll edge it to Jan because of the 2 leg kicks. But Magomed definitely landed more in that third round, for sure. Maybe you can compare like more in Weasel terms, I guess, more medium strikes, and then Jan Blachowicz leg kicks were the big strikes because he was like limping and jumping around and things like that. Like he couldn't walk on his feet. Same thing with those first 2 rounds, but even the leg kicks in the first round, you could give it to Jan Blachowicz. That's what I'm saying. The first round is super close. Second and third, I would give it to Jan Blachowicz. Fourth and fifth were obviously Ankalaev, in my opinion. The fifth, I understand the 10-8 because I don't think Jan Blachowicz even landed a punch there. I can understand it for sure. But yeah, afterwards I figured, okay, I feel like this could go either way. That first round seemed like the decisive round. I think it could have gone either way. So I understand the draw here, but the Paddy Pimblett one versus Jared Gordon, I can understand why people are angry, for sure. I don't know if I would call it a robbery. I think I need to rewatch it, but I can definitely see where people are angry about the Paddy Pimblett versus Jared Gordon one. Jan Blachowicz versus Ankalaev, I think that one could have gone either way, honestly. So I'm not too necessarily angry about that. But afterwards, we have a confirmed UFC title fight for the January Brazil card. UFC would have been trying to find one for sure. They had Figueiredo and Moreno lined up for that card in January, but they couldn't find a main event for it. Looks like they got their main event, Glover Teixeira versus Jamal Hill for the vacant light heavyweight title. What the hell happens to Jan Blachowicz and Magomed Ankalaev? Like I don't know what you do at that point. It's just a complete mess. Those last 2 fights, the only 2 decisions of this card actually were the most controversial decisions in a while. So, what a mess of a card. And it's what happens when you have Sal D'Amato and Chris Lee as your judges. So, I'm going to scroll through some of the comments since I'm sorry. I'm not going to actually do that. We got Performance of the Night bonuses and Fight of the Night and Knockout of the Night. Oh, wow. There's like 8 tabs on here, so they must have given out a lot. So, Performance of the Night, Rolly Rosas Jr., what do we got? Another Performance of the Night, Billy Quarantillo, Chris Curtis, Ilya Taporia, Santiago Ponzinibbio, Jairzinho Rosenstrike, Cameron Simon, Edmund Shabazian, TJ Brown. So it looks like they give just the performances of the night tonight. They didn't do any of the Fight of the Night or whatever they do. So it looks like if you got a finish, you basically got a bonus, which I like. I think they should do that a lot more. I think that's what they should actually do now. I think they should do a bunch of performances of the night where you can get a KO or submission or a finish, like a performance finish bonus. Give them 50K without a doubt. I think that's what they should do, and maybe you can remove some of the people complaining about fighter pay a little bit. But complete mess of a card. Probably the worst thing that could happen to this card, honestly. People pull out, and then it was looking great till those last two fights, honestly. So a little rough for the UFC. You have all that fight fixing thing with James Krause, and now you have this. So it's especially after the Sean O'Malley fight. I thought Sean O'Malley won it, but it was super close. Like afterwards, I'm like, okay, Jan could definitely win this because of the aggressiveness. But I was watching, I was like, okay, Sean O'Malley won this in live time. But afterwards, okay, Petr Yan won with the aggressiveness, but after the Sean O'Malley fight, you definitely look at Sean O'Malley a little bit better. You're like, okay, that decision's not as bad as this Paddy Pimblett Jared Gordon one. I completely understand it, but rewatching the Jared Gordon, not rewatching it, but looking back at the Paddy Pimblett Jared Gordon fight, I can see where the judges are coming from. Actually, not where the judges are coming from, because two people said round 1 for Paddy Pimblett. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. But I can see where some people may say Paddy Pimblett wins based off the second and third round, but it's so close. I'm probably going to have to watch the Weasel, honestly. He's got a lot to do tonight. But Jan Blachowicz, Magomed Ankalaev, I can definitely see how that was a draw. Could have gone 3-2 either way. But again, maybe I can do some more of these or whatever, some live streams after the fights, because honestly, making a video on recapping some of these fights is a little tedious. But I am going to start doing the predictions for tomorrow. For the Strickland vs. Cannonier card coming up, I believe. Let's see. Let me scroll through some of these. KSWs this week. Okay, interesting. Strickland Cannonier. Oh wow, I actually kind of like this poster a little bit. It's decent. But what we got? Jared Cannonier, Sean Strickland. Ooh, Armin Sarukian versus Demiraz Magulov. Okay, I really like that. Amir Albazi versus Alexandra Costa. Is this guy? Yeah, this was the. Wasn't he on? Wait, so he was on the Contender Series and then got another fight and then won in 12 seconds. Okay. Or with 12 seconds left. So Alessandro Costa is in the UFC now after losing or winning the split decision in a Contender Series. So against Amir Albazi, he's got a big test there. Alex Caceres versus Juliana Rosa. That one should be entertaining. Drew Dober versus Bobby Green. Great fight. What is this, in the Apex? Oh my god. Cody Brundage versus McCall Oleksiejczuk. Should be a great fight. I think McCall Oleksiejczuk will win that. Cheyenne Blismos versus Corey McKenna. I don't like. Let's say Cheyenne belongs to the street. Jake Matthews versus Matt Selmelsberger. I'm excited for that one. Wow, they have some really good fights on this card. Julianne Marquez versus Duran Win. I'm gonna go Marquez for that one. Poor Duran Win. Saeed Nurmagomedov versus Sayoko Kakaramanov. I think I might go Saeed. I don't know. That one's actually very close. I might go Saeed Yokob in that one. Mahasha Tate versus Rafa Garcia. Brian Battle versus Renal. I'm not going to say that one. David Dvorak versus Manel. Wow, they have some really good fights. I'm not going to miss a single one on this Cannonier Strickland card. Again, just to recap, great card overall, except for the last two fights. And totality, all finishes, we're like, maybe we get all finishes on this card, but the last two ones, the only two fights that go to a judge's decision were a mess. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. For the few of you guys that dropped in, I'll try to drop a video for the predictions of Cannonier Strickland. If I don't, it'll probably come Monday, but I'm going to try and get him done. Yeah, that's all I got to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Big mess for the UFC. We got Brazil main event now for Jamal Hill and Glover Teixeira. What the hell do we do with Jan Blachowicz and Magomed Ankalaev? And then some good performance of the night, which I think they should keep doing, is give everyone a performance of the night. Give the judges a bonus as well as the comment. Okay. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.